Welcome to Trigger Point Research. This is a quick setup video when we're looking at position stocks that may be entering an area that we want to start looking at. And oftentimes what we do is we look at the longer term time frames first to see where the important support is and the resistance. What you have in front of you is a standard chart, a candle chart for Sturm Ruger. And this stock has been in a nice upward path since July, a little jagged here and there. But generally speaking, right now you can see in the area about 50.5, right about here. There's some nice support that we've seen over the last couple of weeks, and even though it's started to move down a bit. When we look at this, we're looking at some key support, our high volume areas, and our key resistance. So what we're finding is, okay, this is an interesting looking chart, but really what do we have to look at when it comes to when it's going to break out? So let's switch over to the daily real quickly, and we see that in a daily chart, what we find right here, in this section right here, is that there was great support along a very key level, and we saw that that extended for some time at about 47.75 or so, and then the stock managed to bounce up very well and then was consolidating. Now what we're trying to do here with setups, and when we actually alert these for a trade through Trigger Point Research equity alerts, our algorithm will actually calculate where the best possible breakout point is, or a breakdown point, either short or long, and find where the sweet spot is. Now we can see that from here we've tested a few times this upper end right here. See where there's a couple of these red key resistance lines going across? But the point is that there's nothing stacked up very much above here. There's a couple here of resistance, but if it does in fact break through our next level, which is right here at about $52, right about $52.10, we may see a great opportunity to move to the upside. Now, in addition to that, when you look at this, we can kind of get a little bit more visual with what we're really looking at. And what we're looking at is an algorithm where it allows us to see that moving above this level here, right about here, into this level, there's really not much volume that played out right there. And even though there's support here, we're finding these holes, these fast zones. So we want to make sure that we have the stock moving in the right momentum. We want to make sure that Sturm Ruger actually is starting to play, and we want to make sure that actually it will break. Now from the daily, what we do is we'll kind of look a little bit lower. Let's take a look at the 60-minute and see what's happening there. On the 60-minute, we're seeing that clearly there is a very significant amount of resistance that is going back to about the 14th of May. So when we look at this, we have to realize that, hey, we need this to get above that 52. Really like to see it above about 52.34 before we really start thinking that this could break, because if we consider the current levels here that we're seeing and what we saw on the daily and the weekly, we know that there's some resistance on a short-term time period and long-term time period. For those of you that are subscribing to Trigger Point Research alerts, this is something that's in our watch list, within our radar. We want to see how this is going to play, and if it doesn't play out from the long side, there is the potential also for this to drop significantly down into the 50s and possibly in the 49 area as well. When you look at the overall, back to our daily chart for a minute, and you see that underneath this level here, which is about 50.5, there really is nothing down to about 48 again. And you go back sometime in history, you see the same thing happening. So this is a stock that is on our radar for both a long or a short opportunity. And make sure that you are either subscribed to Trigger Point Research Equity Alerts, or you take the free trial, which is a 14-day free trial of the Pro Edition, the Pro package, which gives you the breaking up, the breaking down, and also it provides you with the bounce alerts when we see those that occur. For example, this would have been an interesting bounce place right here for a bounce long, where we saw that it would go through and hold on its very key support level with high volume, and then as it broke through, that was a great opportunity. We saw that there's a lot of support there. So again, these are some of the tools that we use, not all of them, over at Trigger Point Research, and our algorithm searches these out on a regular basis. Thanks for joining me.